Hi, it's Mike with AskTractorMike.com. Got a question today from Andy, and Andy was shopping for a 35 horsepower tractor, and he was pricing at his local dealer, and he says, wanting to keep him honest, I called a couple of dealers within about 80 miles of me. One was about the same price, the other one was hundreds less. Why would that be? My local dealer met the price of the cheaper dealer, but he acted upset about it. Is there a reason a dealer 80 miles away would be cheaper than my local guy? Well, Andy, we're going to talk about that today. I can think of 5 reasons that's a possibility. And I worked in this dealership here for 11 years. And one of the toughest things when you're a dealer is trying to figure out how much do I ask for my tractors. And we had a heavy agricultural audience, and those guys love to negotiate. So you've always got to start higher than where you're going to end up. So you'll have a little wiggle room in there. And the guy that's shopping may have a trade-in that's not really worth much, and you want to show him more on paper than you're actually giving him. Called over-allowing. That's kind of a little trick in the sales book. So you need a little room in there. And I actually liked when people tried to negotiate with me, because if you're negotiating with me while we're doing that, that means we're building a relationship. And it also means when you walk away, you're going to feel like you got a great deal, which I want you to feel that way. But where you start and where you end is always a real struggle. So I'm going to talk about 5 reasons today. One dealership might be cheaper than the other dealership down the road. First thing let's talk about is location, where they are. Where I live in southwest Missouri, most of the dealers in this area are in the Kansas City district or maybe the Chicago district. They're in that district for any of the companies. Most of the companies are separated by districts. And the guys in Arkansas are probably in the Dallas or maybe Houston district. They're based in a different area. And what we ran into a lot of times is they would have a little bit different price than we would for 2 reasons. Number one, if they had a excess inventory in the Dallas region or Houston region, the regional people might discount that inventory to get it moving. And why would they have too much inventory and we wouldn't? Well, a lot of Texas and some of that area there is based on oil revenue. So if the price of crude oil goes down, there's less oil drilling jobs available, there's less money going through the economy, and all of a sudden you have a lot of tractors. So they put discounts on them. Well, I'm just an hour away from Arkansas, so if I'm checking with a Missouri dealer and then I call the Arkansas dealer, that tractor, same tractor, could be a lot cheaper for the dealer to get from the company than my local dealer. So that's one thing, is location. The other thing that comes into play, when you go across a state line, the sales tax may be different. So they may have a different taxation system if you live in one state and buy in another. And that was a problem with Arkansas for a long time now. I think we're on a level playing field. But we used to be where you could buy cheaper in Arkansas than you could in Missouri, and it's a real sore spot for dealers. So number 1 is location. Number 2 is volume programs. On the bigger tractors, on hay equipment, on combines and things like that, there are volume bonus programs for the dealers. The more they sell, the cheaper the product gets. So dealing with a high volume dealer, you might get a cheaper price. Now theoretically, high volume dealers have bigger facilities and more technicians and things like that, so they have more overhead, but they're getting that product from the company maybe a little cheaper. And I've run into this many times in the equipment business. The high volume dealers get a bigger break. This particular dealership I used to work at was a high volume dealer, so they had all the discounts. Now if you're a compact tractor or small tractor buyer, those don't qualify for volume discount. But what does happen sometime, if there's an overabundance of inventory, and you know, all the small tractors pretty much are imported into this country. Let's say the company is sitting on a 10-month supply of compact tractors at the port with no orders against them. They may offer a carrot out there for the high volume dealers, or any dealer really, to order quantities of them. And if they've got too many at the port, that means there's probably too many on the dealer's lot too. But many times the dealer will order mass quantities and then spread those cheaper prices over all the units. So it could be a volume situation. Andy, the dealer far away, might be a higher volume dealer than your local dealer, and he actually could be buying the product cheaper from the company than your local guy is. Number 3, let's make sure we're comparing apples to apples. And I talked about this in my last video. We first want to make sure we're comparing the exact same model with the exact same features. All of them. Because 1 or 2 options on a tractor can greatly alter the price that tractor is. So make sure you're comparing apples to apples. And I said this in my last video. A lot of times if you're comparing the same brand between the 2 dealers for the same brand, you can ask your local guy to pull up an invoice on that tractor you're looking at the other dealership, and that'll tell you if everything is just exactly the same. But the other thing I see happening is sometimes your local dealer may be quoting you a price with a low rate program included in the price, and you may not want low rate program. And when you talk to him and get a little further into it, you say, I'm going to pay cash for this, he's going to come down, because the low rate programs have a cost to them. There ain't no Santa Claus. So your faraway dealer may be quoting you a cash price, and your local dealer may be quoting you a price that includes a low rate program. And so that gives him some wiggle room, because every one of those programs generally has a cost to it to the local dealer. Number 4, and this happens a lot with dealers. I may have all new inventory on my lot. It just shipped in. The other dealer may have inventory that was shipped in, say, in March or April. And we may have had a price increase in between. And if you've had a price increase in between, the tractors may be completely identical. The one is 3 to 5% higher, 2 to 5% higher probably is a better estimate. Because every year, every company raises the price of their small tractors, and that helps move out the old inventory. But for a while, until that old inventory is gone, your local guy may have all new inventory and it's higher price than what the guy down the road has. And it's the same product. So find out what year it is. Now, when you go to trade it in, is the year model going to make a difference? Generally, no. In fact, last I checked, Kubota doesn't even publish a breakdown of what year each serial number is. So you don't know what year it is. You can kind of guess, but you don't really know. So if I'm buying a 2020 model here, and in Arkansas they're selling a 2021 model, should I pay more for that? No, it's not worth any more. So if you can get last year's model, you would get a little better price. And I see that happen all the time. It really irks dealers when they're selling new inventory and the guy down the road is selling old inventory. Another thing that really screws up the whole equation on pricing is sometimes companies come with crazy programs to flush out inventory or to get extra sales at the end of their fiscal quarter. And that really screws up the market. The worst one I ever saw, this is a New Holland dealership, and we sold hay balers. And there was one year, and I never was so mad at a supplier in my life, and I still haven't forgiven them. We had a guy come in the 28th of May and price a hay baler. And he came in the 2nd of June to buy it, and the programs had changed. And the baler was $2,500 more money, our cost. And what did he buy? He bought a John Deere down the road. Because how are you going to pay $2,500 more than what you were quoted less than a week before? But that's what they did. Our cost went up in that short period of time, $2,500. So sometimes they're trying to get last minute settlements, last minute sales, and they'll discount stuff. Usually happens at the end of a quarter. So if the faraway dealer, if you let's say you got your price from the local dealer in the middle of the month and you call the faraway dealer the day before the end of the month, the price of all the tractors may have changed. So it's worth a call back to your local dealer to find out if his bid is still good and if he'll match the other guy's price. And number 5 today, finally the last thing that really impacts why the other dealer's cheaper is attitude. A lot of dealers have the attitude, if I don't sell it, I don't make anything. And so maybe when you're calling, they know you're from far away. They see caller ID and they know you're from a different area code. And they know they probably got one chance to get your business and to make a little bit of money off you. And that one chance is to quote you a lower price than their local guy. And they know they're never going to make the sale unless they're a little cheaper than your local guy. It's real easy to figure my profit percentage on something I didn't sell. It's zero. And so a lot of dealers are real aggressive. They want your business, and they'll cut their margins way down to get it, especially if you're far off. Now, Andy, I think you did the right thing. Everything else being equal, I always want to deal with my local dealer if I can. If they're not just totally unwilling to negotiate at all, and if they'll meet somebody else's price. And I'm always nice about it. If I'm shopping back and forth between dealers, I'll say, you know, I was in Harrison, Arkansas, and I stopped at the local dealership there. You know, they were a few $100s cheaper than you were, and I really want to buy from you. Is there any way you could come close to their price? And usually they'll get right with you. But that's a good negotiating tool, but don't burn any bridges. You really want to deal with that local person, because a $400 savings could be burned completely up when you have a warranty issue or something where you have to pay for the trucking to a faraway dealer. So try to buy local if you can, but keep them honest. I survive on web traffic, and I appreciate you watching my videos. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, click the mic face icon and check the bell so you're notified when I post future videos. Here's my website with the Tractor Fun Store with some cool stuff for the tractor enthusiast. Here's another video you might want to watch. Thanks for watching.